Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an exciting blend for you guys today, so hold on to your hats. It's another fun summer blend. This one I'm doing as an exclusive to the Adagio store. It's not even available online, but it is the contest winner for summer. And we're doing Alexis's Jammin' Blueberry Jam. And I am so excited to try this. This is the perfect hey Snail, welcome. This is Alexa, stop. Seriously? Seriously. Anyway, yeah, that would have gotten a little bit strange. Anyway, so tonight's blend is a really perfect summer blend because it's got so much fragrant citrus stuff in it. So this is it's got white blueberry, black currant, blueberries, raspberries, and hibiscus. And I am dying to dig into this thing because it looks incredible. Now, before I taste it, I want to show you guys what I'm dealing with because it's not going to be it's not going to be complete without seeing what I'm tasting. Now, you guys, this is a very chunky tea. Look at this thing. It's got lots of blueberries and raspberries. You can barely see anything else. You got like the little bit of white tea in there. Showing you guys. I am on here and on Twitch. Are you not seeing me? I hope you're seeing me. But anyway, it's also got hibiscus or hibiscus, depending on who you're asking, because everybody pronounces it differently. But you guys can see the hibiscus. It's a very vibrant red. But yeah, so I'm like, I can't wait to dig in. The whole apartment has been smelling like blueberries for the past like 10 minutes. I am like thrilled. So you guys take a look. It's got a nice like bronze kind of shade to it, and it smells like juice. It smells incredible. So here we go, down the hatch. Oh yeah, this is incredible. I love this. It's got like all you taste is the fruits, like. There's a little bit of the tanginess that the hibiscus contributes, but you're getting a lot of the fruit, and that's just perfect for a summer tea. Now this is officially a tea because it does have Camellia sinensis in it as a white tea, so that's going to have a very mild flavor, but it's present. It's definitely present. It's just really hard to find. It's going to be somewhere in the water flavoring, if that makes any sense. White tea has a very slight flavor. A lot of people don't know how to taste it and what to look for because it's very similar to water. And when you steep it, you have to be very careful because it's a very delicate leaf. So the way that I steep this was 180 degrees for 3 minutes. Usually they say around 160 something for about 2 minutes, but that's a pure white tea. That's one that it's gonna be you want to play it safe usually. This one has so much berry in it that the flavor alone is going to had I oversteeped this, the flavor would probably just overshadow a multitude of sins, and you'll have a nice herbal flavor instead of the oversteeped flavor of a white tea. Oh, it is so good, and it's naturally sweet. I didn't put anything in it. This is all natural. It's all flavor, but the blend itself is incredible. What's a white tea? A white tea is a very lightly oxidized tea leaf. So while you have on the darker end teas that are oxidized about 80% to 99%. You have teas before that, which is 60 to 80. Those are oolongs. Green teas are about, I believe, 30 to 60, depending on about 30 to 60. And white teas are barely touched. At the very most, you'll see them at about 20%. And that's if at all. A lot of white teas are plucked, dried, and shipped. And that's how you get that very, very natural flavor. If they are heated at all, it's going to be heated by the sun. Anything more than that, you're moving towards the green tea side. So being that this is also white tea, it's also caffeinated, but because the white tea content is minimal in this blend, and on top of that, white tea isn't very caffeinated to begin with, you're going to have a very minor reaction, if at all. This isn't the kind of tea that you'll want to wake yourself up in the morning, unless you're already awake, which by then, it's still good to have. It's all flavor. And the good thing about this white tea, using it in a fruity summer blend, is that you don't have to heat it up too much. You can drink it very, very light. I made this blend about, 10 minutes before I started the stream. And it's a nice, slightly above room temperature right now. But it's really good. It's really pleasant. Like I'm not burning my tongue or anything. And that's something that I really appreciate drinking on a summer night. That's why I chose this one. It's an incredible blend. And I'm getting like a slight, almost sugary kind of sweetness to it. There's not a whole lot of. How do you steep white tea? I'll show. Well, same thing. It's 180 degrees for 3 minutes in this little thing. And I lost my train of thought. Anyway, while I have it up, I might as well show you guys what it looks like when it's after it's steeped. You'll see there's barely any difference. There's not a whole lot of change in the blend, and that's because there's first of all, the tea content isn't very visible in here. So you started off with small leaves. They're not going to get much bigger than that. White teas, because they're not as oxidized and they're not as processed, they're not curled. So you're going to have them that are mostly open. And that's a good thing because it releases all the flavor at once. So you're going to have a good cup on the first one, maybe on the second, depending on how careful you were with the first steep. But this blend, because there's so many berries, there's so many other herbs and stuff, that it really doesn't matter. But visually, you're going to see the same thing. There's not a whole lot of change. You're going to see the berries staying about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger because they absorb water, but not by much. The hibiscus, same thing. It's just an herb. It's a flower, and it's not going to open up much more than it already has going in. So there's not going to be visually much of a difference. Oh, excuse me. There's not going to be much of a difference going in. Oh, that is so good. Now, if I were to sweeten this, doesn't need it, but if I were, I would definitely put honey in this. The honey with the fruits would really bring out that natural sweetness. It really doesn't need sugars. Fruits have that natural sugar to begin with. So you don't need to give it more than what it needs. So my preference in this would be honey, specifically Manuka honey. I have just tried that like a week or two ago, and I've been putting it in my tea because it is really, really good. And it's got a lot of good health benefits too. Now it is slightly expensive. I think it was $20 or so at Adagio for like I think it was maybe about 6 to 8 ounces. But it was imported from New Zealand, and it's said to have anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties. So it helps you fight off infections, and it helps you like if you're inflamed somehow, it helps reduce the swelling and stuff like that. So it's a great thing to get, and it's actually considerably cheap because when I went to New Zealand, they were selling for $50, which translate roughly about 24-25 to a thing this big. And I mean, it was, while I wanted to bring it home with me, because you're only in New Zealand so often. Well, as far as my life is, but you're only there once in a lifetime for me. So I wanted to bring back, but because TSA stuff, I didn't want to spend $20-30 on something that I'd have to leave behind anyway. Totally would have been worth it had I been able to bring it home. Luciano, welcome. Thanks for joining. So just to catch you guys up, I'm drinking, I'm not going to say the name again because you know who's going to start throwing in her 2 cents, but the Jammin blueberry jam. This is a really incredible blend. I'm loving the flavors. It's a whole lot of sweet. Pops, welcome. I see you just popped in there. I'm really loving the way that it's just culminating in the mouth. It's sitting there, and it just like coats the tongue in a really smooth, soft way. I'm really thoroughly enjoying this. Now it's got a bit of a long burn. I can, like, the flavor lasts quite long, but on top of that, it coats the tongue. So all the juices, all the flavors that were pulled out. That's the one thing I love about sweetness, is that it really sticks with you. The sugars coat the tongue, and it gets into the taste buds, and just really culminates and mixes in the mouth. And it just has this really sweet sensation. I thoroughly enjoy it. Oh, and now, time for the Thomas test. I'm going to drink it, inhale, and then exhale through the nose. Inhale through the mouth, exhale through the nose, and I'll look for any new tastes that show up in the process. Okay, when I breathe out, it tastes more floral than fruity. And that's something I can certainly appreciate. Because like you have these little hidden nuances that aren't there the first time. Do you steep this tea different from a white tea? Personally, I did not. Just because I wanted to stick to the traditional way of steeping it, but judging by the taste, it can handle more temperature and probably a longer time. I could probably steep this as a green tea for 5 minutes and still come out with a really good flavor. Maybe even a more enhanced flavor, because it would have pulled out more flavor from the berries and the hibiscus. So next time I do this, I would totally give it, keep it in there longer and slightly hotter. I don't want to go too far and leave it to burn, because remember, this still does have white tea in it, and when you mess up white tea, it becomes very bitter, and you're gonna have it butting heads with the fruit. So I would still be careful with it, but I don't think I need to be as careful next time. And definitely, I would totally make this as an iced tea, because the fruits just make it very accessible to the tongue. All the sweetness, like the coating on the mouth will definitely come in handy when it's colder, because cold temperatures, enhance the flavor of the tea. So I say, yeah, go for it. Mm. Oh, that is so good. I swear this is not going to make it to the end of the end of the stream. Like I'm really using a lot of self control, not drinking all of this at once, because the sweetness. I have a bit of a sweet tooth. It's gotten better over the years. I've stopped having so much sweetness, but it's still a nice a nice blend, and it's taking some form of restraint to hold back. Honestly, you prefer this tea iced? Well, yeah. I mean, like, anything fruity is gonna taste really good iced. Um, I don't know what my preference would be, because I have had it iced before. I'll admit that, and I mean, it tastes great. But as a hot tea, this can carry its own. So I'm not. I don't have a clear winner, but it's definitely really good either way. Mm. So now I'm going to open up the floor. Questions, comments, anything you want to talk about? Now's the time. Do I have any announcements? I probably have one or two. I definitely have one, actually, now that I think about it. Um, Tomorrow we're having the tea party. The link is on the group chat. Yeah, the group Facebook page in announcements. So feel free to join in. We're always happy to welcome people in. And honestly, it's starting. It's surprising me how much it's grown, because when it started, I thought it was just gonna be okay, an hour on Saturdays, since COVID's going out and nobody has anything else to do. Let's try something like that. So I tried it, and my 1 hour shift turned into a 6 hour shift. Um, so yeah, that was fun. Then I tried, after about 2 or 3 months, to reduce the number of times, because now that things are opening up, the weather's getting nice, people want to go out. I tried to make it twice a week, and everybody just said, no, we want it every week. So it looks like this is where I'm headed. I wasn't able to do it last week because I had a prior engagement. Oh, excuse me. But it's going to be happening this week. Once I'm done with the announcement, you have a question? No, don't even wait for the announcement to finish. Just shoot the question. Now that's interesting. What is the origin of white tea? Um, that is a good question, because I'll tell you why. But first, I wanted to pull this out. Now that there's less tea in here, it's not as dark. I don't know if you guys can see it on Twitch, but it's definitely very vibrant on Facebook. Look at how purple it is. It's like purple. This is all blueberry. This is blueberry with a little bit of raspberry for the red. I didn't notice it before because it was so much. It was more concentrated. Now it's just a really nice little pinkish, bluish, purplish liquid going on. Kind of like a mad scientist thing going here. But anyway, okay, back to the question: the origins of white tea. Now, tea began in China, and the oxidation process, of course, had it was a process to develop the different ways that you would have tea. Some was oxidized longer, so that's how you got the green teas. Some was oxidized shorter, that's how you got the white teas. But interesting fun fact: they don't make black teas in China or Japan. That's all green tea up till oolongs. India is actually the originators of black tea, where they took the extra step and oxidized it longer, and because of the climate, that really helped develop the stronger, bolder flavor of black teas. And so it's kind of interesting how how it started, and then it was picked up and expanded on, and now you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of teas out there, even thousands. And how the differences in the climate and the temperatures and the oxidation processes and all of that culminates into making one specific blend. And like so many combinations, you're gonna get a good variety. But yeah, that's the origins of white tea. I mean, it started in China. It's said, and technically, why do you do that? You always put some "see more." All right, so what is today known as white tea may have come into creation in the last 2 centuries. Scholars and tea merchants generally disagree as to when the first production of white tea, as it is understood, let me go down. As it is understood in China today, began. White tea may have first appeared in British publication in 1876. Now, I do have something to say about that, but I'm going to finish reading and then I'll get back to it. Where it is categorized as a black tea because the leaves are not steamed first, as in the making of green tea in order to, what's this, denture, I have to keep scrolling, intrinsic oxidative enzymes. White tea is often being sold as silvery tip peco, a form of its traditional name, and also under the simple designations of China white and Fujian white. Some tea in the related wild Camellia sinensis in Yunnan is made using white tea processing techniques. Most of that is trash, and I'll tell you why. First of all, legend has it. I'm going to start with the legend, where I forget the name. It was the emperor fell asleep under a tea bush, and the leaves, as he slept, fell into his cup and made the first tea. No oxidation, white tea. Okay? Second, all of this is recorded as England's perspective. And they were not there when tea was developed. They actually imported tea. Some would say stole. Some would say stole tea, but it was imported in England, and their civilization of it is kind of biased. So white tea has probably been around. Herman, welcome. White tea has probably been around for centuries, but it was never recorded until about 200 years ago. So that's why I do take some issue with what that says, because culturally, it's wrong. I don't know the exact origins of tea, but I know not to take the Brits' word for it. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Okay, so questions, comments, anything you want to talk about? Now's the time. I also wanted. Why are you mad? I'm just telling you. This is culturally correct. Um, and Artemis, if you ever see this in the future, I know you're with me. But yeah, okay. So I'm going to answer the Teresa question. What would I pair this with? I would pair this with something that's sweet, something light. Because it's so fruity, it's definitely a dessert tea, and it's very it's gonna be versatile. Strawberry cheesecake, yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a lot of sweetness. You can definitely blend well with strawberry cheesecake, ice cream. I would say a light salad, a light sauced pasta. I think that would go pretty well with this. Anything that you can have like during the summer that's not too heavy, it's not too filling. This is a very refreshing tea on its own. So yeah, this is good stuff. What else? Blah, 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 blah. I can't think of anything that I would have it with. I mean, like I'm trying to think of entrees. You know, something that would taste that wouldn't overpower this too much. But everything that comes to mind is like desserts because sweet goes well with sweet. It complements. I mean, I would say like a fruit. I would say like a fruit salad. Um, Zana, welcome. I saw you just. I don't know if you're in the room yet. It's not telling me if anybody's in the Twitch room, but I just saw the. I just saw the notification on my phone. So if you are watching, welcome. Thanks for joining. And I lost my train of thought. I think that's all I can think of what I would pair it with. But I just remembered my second announcement. The International Tea Festival is coming up in November, so I would highly encourage you, everybody around the world, because this is going to be a virtual only event, to go ahead and sign up because this is going to be a spectacular thing to participate in. The only thing is, I don't know what their oh, there you are. ZC, welcome. You just popped in. What was I saying? I lost my. Oh yeah. So the International Tea Festival is going to be everywhere. The only thing is, I don't know what their policies are as far as shipping swag bags. I don't know if that's going to be international. But for $45, you can pay for the admission and get the lectures and classes as well. 25, I would probably steer clear of unless you know their shipping policies, because that's admission plus a swag bag. But otherwise, if you're not interested in the lectures or the classes or any of that, free admission. And I am available at the free admission level, so feel free to register, pop in, say hello, and talk to me, because this is what the community is about. We just shoot the breeze. Once COVID's over, we'll be able to get together in person again. But until then, it's just going to be a little bit difficult. It's really, I think, the biggest challenge of growing up my company is doing it in a climate where we can't get together, and the main idea is to get together. But we don't have to get together in person to get together at all. So, through the miracle of the internet, we're all together right now. We're all having fun, I hope. And, this is what the International Tea Festival is about. We just go out, we learn about tea. We talk to vendors. We talk to uh, other people who share our passions, and that's something. That's the reason why I signed up as a vendor. You know, I want to meet people. I want to get everybody together and just have a lot of fun. So, that being said, the International Tea Festival will be the 7th and 8th, or 8th and 9th. I think it's the 8th and 9th. It's the Saturday and Sunday. I'm leaning more towards the 8th and 9th. You know what? I have a calendar right here. So September, October, November is. Oh wait, no, went too far. It is the 7th and 8th. Okay, yeah, my bad. So it's gonna be November 7th and 8th. Three best teas for beginners. I tailor my teas toward people who, first I want to know what they like. So if I were to start people off on actual teas, this would actually be one of them, because it's a white tea, very light on the tea flavor, very heavy on the fruity and floral. So fruity white teas is a good way to start people on the path to discovering more teas. If you are a coffee drinker, I would go more on the black tea side, with probably like a masala chai and a lapsang souchong for the brave. I say that because it's a very heavy, smoky flavor, and you know, not everybody likes it. So I would say for the brave, that would be a good way to start. Somewhere in the middle, I would do probably either a citrus green. Again, you get the fruit that blends in with the green to get you accommodated to the flavor. Or I would start with a nice oolong, probably a milk oolong, which is a less traditional flavored tea, even though it is an official traditional flavor, but it's not what people think of when they drink tea. So milk oolong that is naturally creamy and naturally smooth and silky is really good for the palate, to get you to try other teas. So I know I named about 6, if I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5. Okay, so I did about 5 or 6. I can never pick just 3, apparently. Either that or my math skills really suck. But yeah, that's the way it is. All right, so I have maybe 1 or 2 more sips. So I'm going to open up the floor again. Questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now's the time. I don't even know why I slurped, because at this point it's so cold. When you slurp, that's when you have a hot beverage that you try to taste more, you cool it off the tongue. So traditionally, you have to slurp your tea in order to taste it correctly. I just did it because it's fun. It's actually one of the best ways to taste teas, even though it's not necessary when it's this cold. But yeah, so last call, questions, comments, because this is not going to last one more sip. And if not, then forever hold your peace. Oh, that was so good. Okay, guys, thanks so much for joining me. This has been an incredible blend. Once again, this is Jammin Blueberry Jam. It's only available at the Chicago store at Adagio, so unfortunately I'm not going to have a link for you, but I will have a link for you for the International Tea Festival. So go ahead, sign up. It's an all weekend thing, so if you can't make Saturday, you can make Sunday. Hope to see you guys there. Until then, have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.